Scroll EJ Leave born from true love in a heartbreaking twist filled with emotional depth. Days of Our Lives viewers may soon witness the end of one of Salem's most controversial couples, EJ DiMera and Belle Black. But this time, the heartbreak doesn't come from betrayal, deception, or scandal. Instead, it stems from a conscious decision by EJ, a man who's finally trying to change after years of darkness. EJ to break up with Belle, not because he doesn't love her. Not long after waking up from the coma that nearly took his life, EJ started seeing the world and himself differently. While many still doubt his redemption, it's clear he's tormented by an internal battle. He deeply loves Belle. That's undeniable. But it's also that love which leads him to a painful realization: his past will always haunt them. Expected around mid-June, likely the week of June 10th to 14th. EJ is poised to make a bold decision. He's going to end things with Belle. Why EJ chooses to walk away? A brutal truth: EJ isn't being forced to leave Belle by Marlena. He's not chasing after another woman. This is purely his own decision, a moment of self-awareness. He remembers the pain in Johnny's eyes after learning the truth about EJ blackmailing Sammy into sex. He remembers every betrayal and the trail of destruction he's left behind. He envisions Belle's future if she stays with him. A life torn apart by scandal, professional ruin, and emotional wreckage. And because he genuinely wants to protect her, EJ makes the hardest choice of all: to walk away before he does any more damage. Belle tries to hold on. But she can't. When Belle finds out about EJ's decision, she's devastated. She can't understand how they've come this far, through judgment, family pressure, and tough conversations, only for him to push her away. In a heartbreaking rain-soaked scene in Salem, Belle rushes to confront EJ. She pleads, "Why now? Why don't you give me a choice? Why don't you believe we can beat this together?" EJ responds with only one sentence: "Because I love you, and that's exactly why I can't destroy you." This emotional climax, likely to air in mid-June, will bring many fans to tears. There will be no yelling, no scandal, just the quiet, agonizing end of a love that wasn't enough to survive the weight of the past. Marlena, harsh yet right? Marlena, who never truly supported the relationship, finds herself feeling conflicted. She didn't want her daughter to be hurt, but she sees something different in EJ now: not perfection, but a willingness to step back to protect Belle. In private, she admits maybe he really has changed. Post-breakup, Belle's breaking point. Following the breakup, Belle is expected to spiral emotionally, likely throughout July. She questions herself. How could she love so wrongly again? Especially when this time it wasn't betrayal. It was love that hurt her the most. Behind-the-scenes buzz indicates Belle will not appear beside EJ in the fall storyline. Instead, Kat will feature more prominently with EJ and Chad, as hinted in the official 60th anniversary promotional photos. This seems to confirm EJ and Belle are officially over. A new EJ, or just a setup for a new triangle? Some fans may ask, is EJ truly a changed man? Or is this just a rebranding effort before he jumps into a new triangle with Kat and Chad? If so, was leaving Belle really an act of love? Or a strategic move? What's certain is this: the day EJ leaves Belle will be a defining moment in Days of Our Lives' summer arc. And sometimes, the price of becoming better is losing the one person who believed in you the most. Next, Days of Our Lives. EJ and Kat renew love, rising from the ashes of Chad's departure. A new chapter may be unfolding in Salem, and it's one that few fans could have predicted. With Billy Flynn officially confirming his exit from Days of Our Lives, marking the end of his long-standing portrayal of Chad DiMera, the emotional landscape of the show is undergoing a seismic shift. And in the aftermath of his departure, one woman stands at the center of it all: Kat Green. For Kat, Chad's exit is not just the closing of a romantic chapter, but the beginning of a fragile new journey. And perhaps, just perhaps, that journey leads her directly into the arms of EJ DiMera. Kat Green. From scandal and solitude to vulnerability, Kat Green's recent time in Salem has been anything but peaceful. Her complex connection to Chad was built on fragile ground, particularly after her controversial impersonation of Abigail Devereaux. A move that shook many to their core and drew scorn across town. That deception left deep scars. Though Chad eventually forgave her, he never fully allowed himself to trust her again. There were moments, fleeting, delicate, when it seemed like a real connection might bloom, but the wounds ran too deep. And now, with Chad's unexpected and permanent departure, Kat is left in emotional limbo. For the first time in a long while, she feels completely untethered. She's no longer chasing redemption with Chad. She's simply alone. The void is not just romantic. It's existential. She is, in many ways, a woman seeking a new identity in a town that still whispers about her behind her back. But it's in this vulnerable space that someone unexpected enters with an open ear and, perhaps, an open heart. E.J. DiMera. A man in transition, searching for meaning. E.J. DiMera is no stranger to reinvention. Having recently ended a deep, if complicated, relationship with Belle Black, E.J. has publicly claimed that he wants to become a better man. His near-death experience following the shooting left him reeling, and for a moment, he seemed truly changed, more introspective, less consumed by vengeance and legacy. He began to speak of redemption, of being the kind of man who builds, rather than destroys. It was at a charity event, one that E.J. had no intention of using for personal gain, that fate stepped in. E.J. bid on and won a date with none other than Kat Green. Initially, many in Salem rolled their eyes, assuming it was just another DiMera power play. Some even speculated it was a calculated move to get back at Belle or to toy with Chad. But there was something different about the way E.J. looked at Kat that night. It wasn't manipulation. It wasn't strategy. It was curiosity. And maybe even a flicker of hope. A connection takes root. Shared pain, shared passion. What began as a seemingly innocent dinner soon became something much more profound. Both Kat and E.J. are people who carry immense emotional baggage. They are no strangers to scandal, betrayal, and shame. And yet, in each other, they found something rare in Salem: understanding without judgment. E.J., often regarded as cold and calculating, found himself letting his guard down. He talked to Kat not as a pawn, not as a means to an end, but as someone who might actually see him for who he is, not just who he used to be. And Kat? She found in E.J. something she'd never expected. Someone who saw her as more than the woman who wore another's face. Someone who didn't define her by her worst mistake. Someone who made her feel like she could be more. Their bond blossomed faster than either expected. Theirs is a connection rooted in mutual pain, but blooming into something warmer. Something that, to both of them, feels startlingly like peace. Salem reacts, cheers, concerns, and quiet warnings, but Salem is not a town known for keeping quiet when something controversial brews, and the relationship between E.J. and Kat has not gone unnoticed. Some longtime residents view their connection with cautious optimism. They believe that everyone deserves a second chance, perhaps even two people as damaged as E.J. and Kat. They see E.J.'s efforts to become a better man as genuine. They see Kat's desire to live an honest life as heartfelt. And together, they see two souls who might finally find refuge in each other. But others are far more skeptical. The DiMera name still carries shadows, and E.J.'s past is littered with betrayals, manipulations, and more than a few crimes. Meanwhile, Kat's own recent history is a constant reminder of what she's capable of when desperate. For many in the community, it's hard to believe that two people with so many demons could build something lasting. And then there are the quiet murmurs in the DiMera household. Some wonder if this new relationship is a genuine fresh start or a ticking time bomb. A future without Chad and the possibility of something real. What is clear is this: with Chad out of the picture, the space he once occupied in Kat's heart and storyline is now wide open. There's no longer a triangle, no rivalry, no shadow of Abigail lingering between them. It's just Kat and E.J. and whatever they choose to build. But the question remains, can they rise above their pasts? Trust will be their first mountain to climb. For E.J., the challenge will be proving to Kat and himself that he can truly commit without reverting to control and deceit. For Kat, it will be embracing a relationship that isn't built on fantasy or pretending to be someone else. If they can meet in the middle, if they can be vulnerable without fear, they just might forge one of the most compelling and redemptive love stories Salem has seen in years. And perhaps, just perhaps, the next great DiMera romance is already taking root, not in scandal, but in sincerity.